all of the gambling scandals that have been going on lately across multiple leagues. And I'm going to overview those real quick. And then I figured we can talk about them. Is that fine with you?
Works for me.
Okay, so over the last month, it seems that it's finally like heated up across multiple sports, starting with the NBA, where Chauncey Billups got, this is all alleged, obviously, where he was hosting illegal poker games, and then the online investigators potentially found him multiple instances of him throwing Portland Trailblazers games as well, and he was also named as a co-conspirator in the Terry Rozier case, where Terry Rozier was accused of throwing games and also giving intel to family friends or his brother, whoever that may have been. The first thing that I want to address, and then obviously I want your opinion on this as well. We talked about it a little bit. People criticizing the leagues, the TV networks, the podcast networks for advertising gambling. I don't understand every post that I see now where it's just like a gambling ad is being like read or something like that. All the comments are like, oh, like pretty interesting that you can like read these gambling ads on blah blah blah. It's like, well, 98% of the people who consume like sports content are the exact demographic that the sports books are after to serve those gambling ads to, and they're eligible gamblers, and it's an extremely competitive market, so you're going to see a ton of it. They throw millions and millions and millions of dollars at marketing every single year. So yes, we're going to see gambling ads, and we're going to continue to see gambling ads. A player and or coach or an organization member sharing classified information or throwing games is not apples to apples with any sports team, podcast network, TV show, anything serving gambling ads to people who are eligible gamblers. Why does that piss me off so much? Like, could you does that, like, have you seen that? Like, is that something that you have seen as well? Like people criticizing like gambling ads recently?
I have seen it, and my thought process behind the whole thing is like, I obviously don't think that, like, for example, the Panthers tweeting out the over under for the game today at 46.5 versus the Broncos, right? Um, Realistically, that is some social media manager that is not even in the locker room of the Carolina Panthers. And so there's no actual connection between them tweeting. Like, I'm almost kind of confused why people get upset about it too, because it's like, this doesn't, like, this has no effect on what's actually going to happen in this football game. This is just them putting out content. This is them talking about the game. This is them mentioning, oh, this is something that uh is massive in sports. It's a talking point. It's getting people to watch the game. It's whatever, but there's nothing actually funny going on between the social media manager for the Carolina Panthers and FanDuel. So I don't understand like why the immediate gut reaction for people is like, oh, great. Well, my bet's not going to win. It has zero correlation between the outcome of your bet and what's actually happening on the field.
No, because you think about it, that example to a T is like, who follows the Carolina Panthers Twitter page? The fans.
Carolina Panthers fans. And the people that'll see it too are probably the Broncos, because that's who they're playing for the week.
And who's gambling? They're targeting people who are going to be gambling on the games, who are legally allowed to gamble on those said games. If you are in a state where gambling is legal, and gambling is legal where the Carolina Panthers are based out of. So I don't understand why that's like such a hard like thing that people can't get into their brains of why this is okay. And to move
also,
on.
I wanted to say one other thing about that too, is it's also not like that person that's tweeting out the over under is putting together like a laundry list of facts to support one of the sides of that number. So,
Yeah.
like,
Even if
what
they
I'm trying to,
were,
even if they were, that's the risk you take as a gambler, because that's no different than me or you following this guy, George Kent, on Twitter, where it's like he puts out his play of the day and then people will put like facts as to like why they like it. That's not any different, I don't think.
No, it's not.
Than some random social media manager tweeting out the over under for a game.
Correct. This is to move on. The players and the coaches. First things first. Why in the new age of the legalized gambling era? Obviously, in the past, there's some very famous examples of people who have fixed games and they've done the time and they're infamous for what has happened. Like I think of like the Tim Donahue situation, the NBA ref, etc. Why in the new age of legalized gambling would you test anything? Because right now you are going to be the first example made by the judge, by the people who are investigating on this case. If you are found guilty of this, if that they are going to legitimately throw the book at you, because they are going to make an example out of you. You look at the Jonte Porter situation. He is in serious legal trouble. You look at what happened with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley just placed parlays that had nothing linked to him doing anything, and he got suspended from the NFL for he missed an entire year of his career. So they have already started to do strong like repercussions for all of this, and I just think it's going to continue to get worse and worse as it starts to get more publicized. And each league or fighting promotion as well, because we're going to talk about that as well. They have independent companies that monitor as well as in conjunction with the sports books, who monitor all of the betting markets across every single game. And if something seems fishy, they're right on top of it. And we'll get into that when we talk about the UFC a little bit later. They're right on top of it. So yes, you are going to get caught. And if you get caught, there's no precedent set as of right now in the new age gambling era, that if you're caught fixing a game, if you're caught sharing information, this, that, and the other thing, what that actual repercussion of that, and when I say repercussion, I'm talking about real prison time, could potentially be.
Now we are getting to like, we're at the point where that gambling is being closely monitored more than ever. Like the most attention from sports books, from the FBI, from the leagues, they're monitoring this more so now than it has ever been monitored before. So the opportunity to get away with this is basically zero. And so the type of person that is not only an athlete that is providing the information of, oh, I'm not going to play the rest of this game, I'm going to fake an injury, is equally as brain dead as the person that is putting the money on that player. Because, and this is something that I've thought about too, is like the automatic instinct for all of these people that get this insider information is, I'm gonna put $10,000 on all of Terry Rozier's under for this game,
If
because
not
I
more.
know, because I know that he's gonna get caught. That's an automatic red flag. Like, if you had any common sense, your first thought would be, let's not make this as blatantly obvious as possible. So like me or you, so how many people are realistically going to be putting $50K on a Terry Rozier under on a Tuesday night in December? Probably not that many people, unless you have certain information.
Especially when if you have an account with a sports book, they track all your bets.
All your bets. And if your normal bet is $20 and they randomly flag you for a $90,000 bet on a Terry Rozier under, dude, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah, you're cooked.
Maybe instead of 90 grand, you go with $50 because, oh, cool, this is a nice little win that I can actually get away with it. But no, these people take this information and think, I'm not going to get caught. I'm going to come up and put $90,000 on something,
It's not
and
even about the flat individual person as well. It's about the information sharing, where if Terry Rozier tells his cousin then tells two other people. Those two other people go and throw it in a Discord with 5,000 people in there. And then 5,000 people in that Discord all have that play.
yeah,
That's what they're talking about here.
the network.
The network and how easy it is to share all of this information, and why it's a problem, because players, coaches, people in the organization sharing information pretty easy and simple. I've heard people say like, well, what if Chauncey Billups was like just upset that the owner came to him and said that like they were tanking, and he just like happened to say to a friend like, I can't believe we're tanking this game. It's like, okay, well, you know all your friends pretty well. Majority of them, we know that majority of our friends gamble.
Yeah.
Obviously, that information that is being shared, if you want to talk to your families, your friends, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever, please do that. But please also, they obviously know that like, oh, I'm going to tell my friend this, and my friend is clearly, you have to be smart when you're giving out any sort of information like this, to just like spew at the mouth, and to know the potential repercussions if it was to ever come back to you is just flat your fault.
Yeah. Even if you're not like intentionally putting that information out there to try to get people to have like to bet on it, you know that the gut reaction to you saying, yeah, like we're tanking, like the season's over, is going to automatically light a fire under people, or like, oh shit, really? Like I can take all of Damian Lillard's unders. I can take Nazir Little over points because he's going to play 30 minutes a game as opposed to his normal 12. Like that is the immediate reaction that you would get when you would tell a group of gamblers.
Definitely not a good look. And then obviously for fixing games or fixing props at this point as well, what needs to be said at that point? I mean, like there's nothing to talk about. Like that is like, you clearly can't do that. Like if you are that stupid to be able to do that, and you're willing to put your name, your reputation, and your career on the line, and all of the potential money that you would make through playing contracts, through endorsements, through everything, to go out and play for 9 minutes and fake an ankle injury or something like that, you're a scumbag, and you just deserve to have all of that stripped away from you. Just as simple as like, if me and you were to ever get in trouble from the law, we would probably lose our normal jobs where we don't make a fraction of what those guys could even think about making. So it's just like at a point like where everybody tries to kind of like stick up for the player or the coach or whoever. It's just like, you work for an organization that there's not many of in America. You should hold a certain arrogance to yourself in a positive, right? Where it's like, I am higher and mightier than all of these people who are begging for information or begging to get some sort of edge. Why would you put yourself in the same category of all of those people? I just think that like, if you do that, then yes, you deserve to get your career stripped away from you. Just as if me and you were to go and get like, I don't even know, like a DUI or something like that, and our job were to figure out about it, they would not be happy with us. So like, they should be held to the same standard as everybody else in the entire world. And if not, they should be held to a higher standard than everybody else in the world, because I just think that it's just ridiculous that this has gotten to this point.
Being a pro athlete is like, in my opinion, like one of the biggest privileges in the world. Like you get access to
everything,
tons of money, you just have so much access to things that so many people would kill to have access to. And to try and I don't know the proper word, but try to like rig the system because you want an extra 200 grand is like
Crazy.
insane. And I know that it's not about the money part of it. I think it's more so about like
They're addicts.
the thrill of it. Yeah, the addict
They're
part of it.
addicts. Yeah.
That is the overarching issue of all of this is like, but and I guess that's like probably where it like twists back into like they don't want like people complaining when teams tweet out like over unders and stuff like that. I don't think again, I still don't think it matters, but like
Is Bryce Young tweeting out the over under for the game?
no, that's what I'm saying. It's not the
If
players
Bryce
that are
Young
doing it.
tweeted out, "Fuck, my over in passing yards is 233
I know.
yards today." Like, okay, then yeah, I'm with you on that. But
yes, yes,
to move on, I want to highlight each individual situation that we're talking about here. I'm going to start with the NBA, and then we haven't talked much about the UFC, but there was an issue in the UFC that happened this past weekend, and I don't even think I'm guessing you don't know about it because it's not a very highly publicized situation. But let's start with the WWE, the NBA.
that's right.
And I want to start with Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups obviously got picked up on hosting illegal fixed poker games headed by the mafia. In my head, this is all alleged, obviously, but in my head, this is simple. Clearly, Chauncey was up to his eyes in debt gambling.
Yes.
And you watch videos. I've sent videos around to the group chats of like Michael Francis, ex-crime boss, talking about what they would do if somebody got into them for a certain amount of money. And this is exactly what like they're doing with Chauncey Billups. He went and hosted high stakes poker games where there was like fixed machines, x-ray glasses, x-ray tables, the whole nine, earpieces, all of this stuff. Like it's out of a movie almost at this point. And it seems like outside looking in, what makes the most sense to me is he was up to his eyes in gambling, that the mafia came to him and said, there's one way to fix it. Like, do you have a rich uncle? Can you rob a bank? If not, like, get me my money. This is how we're going to do it. They go then and rig these poker games. He's able to draw in a certain amount of a certain crowd, whether that be ex-NBA players. They unfortunately looks like they drew in the wrong sort of crowd because they also drew in these pro poker players who knew the games were fixed. And there's clips of podcasts from 2 years ago of pro poker players talking about these cash games that they were having and how that they were fixed. And it seems like they pissed off the wrong people. They spoke out about it. And that's kind of how this whole thing came crumpling down. So that's the Chauncey Billups situation. Do you have anything that you want to comment on that?
No, I think that is probably exactly what happened. As a player, as a coach, like you're not allowed to gamble. And he's been in that space for how long? So, like, the only way you're going to actually be able to gamble is off the book like that. Now, I would suggest not doing that with the mob or the mafia, but what do I know? There's allegedly other offshore places that you can gamble. That
I really think that it gets to a point where like I don't think Chauncey Billups like even knew he was dealing with the mafia. I think whatever bookie or whoever he was using with was an extension of like the mafia. And then once it got to a certain point where he racked up like this was the example that Michael Francis used. Michael Francis said, my bookie came to me one time and was like, oh, like this guy's into me for $20,000. Like, what do we do? He's like, we don't do anything. Like, we let him get into you for $500,000. Then we go and do something about it. So it's probably a situation there where he was into him for a large amount of money.
Yeah.
And they finally got to a point where they were like, okay, like now the big dogs have to come in and fix this because that's what was instructed by them. At least that's how I view it as of right now.
I mean, I think that you're probably correct with your line of thinking on this, but yeah, either way, getting to that point is not even for the monetary value like we talked about. It's for the addiction and for the thrill of it all. And the fact that they had like all of this technology that I like straight out of a movie type shit. It's insane. Like there is going to be a documentary or a movie about this at some point.
I hope so.
Be awesome. Bill Simmons is going to do it
on HBO. Now the Terry Rozier situation where he tells somebody, whether that be a cousin or a brother, I forget what it was off the top of my head, and he tells him that he is a little banged up. He's going to enter a game and then he's going to leave said game earlier. This was the situation where you tell a cousin tells two people, the two people put in a Discord server and 5,000 people figure out about it. And there was just a large, unusual spike on Terry Rozier unders on a certain game. They go back to that certain game. They figure it all out. It's not rocket science. And then they have an alleged video and maybe potential wiretap as well of the $200,000 getting delivered to the house duffels in cash, where they go ahead and count it. So obviously this is all alleged, but that doesn't really look too great for Terry Rozier as well. And in this indictment, there is a co-conspirator listed, which is just clearly Chauncey Billups. Yes. Kind of also accused for the same stuff. And then a third person in this situation, which is Damon Jones, who is like very close with LeBron James. Very close with LeBron James. And there is an example where he's texting somebody, giving them inside information about a LeBron injury, where he goes, make sure you bet enough so D Jones can eat too, which is crazy.
I mean, that is about as clear cut as you could get for stupidity. Just straight up saying, include me in your illegal bet right now is what he's doing. And
it's crazy, dude.
It's so freaking funny how he worded it. Make sure you bet enough so D Jones can eat.
What's crazy about all of this as well is like you think like that is somebody who has, when you think of Damon Jones, like really the only thing that he could hang his hat on in his entire career was that he was just close with LeBron James. And he's been with LeBron James at multiple stops all over the place. And it's like, holy shit. Like, how much information has that guy given out over the years about LeBron James? I'm not saying LeBron is interlinked in this and knows what's going on. It's like some grand master plan, but it's just like, damn, like think about all of the potential times that this could have happened. Because if this is just one time that they're getting caught, I mean, you can't sit here and say that there's probably not hundreds of more times that they have done this.
There's no way that any of these instances were the very first and only instance of this happening. I mean, I feel like this has been going on for years and years and years, and we'll never find out about it, but because a lot of it was probably done like so far off the books, and by the books I mean like the actual sports books, but I think now we'll begin to see like it get completely eliminated because of the example that's being made of these guys. At least that's what you have to do if you are the FBI, if you are the NBA, if you are the NFL, where it's like you get a lifetime ban from your sport and further punishments if you're doing something like this.
We'll see what happens when Chauncey Billups gets sat down and they say, you're going to do 76 years in federal prison, or you can talk and tell us everything. Then we're really going to, Damon Jones, you're going to spend 80 years in federal prison, or you can sit here and we'll give you 5 years and you tell us every single thing that you know. That's where the NBA, there's two things of why the NBA is in hot water. And it feels like this story, what's going on right now is severely underplayed, severely underreported, in my opinion, where it's like, there is going to reach a point where the feds don't come knocking at your door unless if they have a concrete case to put you in federal prison. That's all there is to the feds have a 98% conviction rate on their cases. And a lot of the times it's because people plead out because they know that they're not going to beat the case. If it goes to trial, you're going to get a hefty sentence. So these guys are going to reach a point where they're going to get asked hard questions, and they're either going to sit there, buck up, and take the time, which I'd be shocked in a scenario like this, or a lot of other people. And I don't know who it might be. It might be people who run Discord servers. It might be other NBA players, other NBA coaches, whoever. Other people are going to go down in this situation as well. The second reason why the NBA is in the hot water is because they conducted their own investigation on the Terry Rozier situation and deemed him clear of any allegations. Then the feds come knocking at Terry Rozier's door and arrest him. Do you know how bad of a look that is for the NBA right now, where it's like, you guys have some serious questions to answer because you tried to sweep this under the rug and it didn't work. We're putting you on blast right now. And how is Adam Silver and the NBA and the rest and the entire organizations across the league, how are they going to respond to this as well?
I mean, the biggest thing is like, this was talked about for a week, and the NBA sweeping this part of it under the rug deserves to be talked about more, because they have a major gambling issue at their hands if this all ends up being true. And Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups, well, more so Terry Rozier, but Terry Rozier gets convicted of this and does actual time. Like, the NBA should, like, Adam Silver should be fired from his job. And furthermore, I don't even know what else you would do besides fire the guy, but how can you be so, like, they were so, what, I don't know what the opposite of thorough is, like,
laissez-faire.
Yeah, they were so, like, we don't even care about this. The integrity of their game is
in question.
And Adam Silver did absolutely less than the bare minimum to make sure that this was handled properly.
I'm in lockstep with you on this, where nobody has really said this, but if he is convicted by the feds on the everything that he is alleged of, example, Terry Rozier, Damon Jones, whoever, more so the Terry Rozier situation, because there was that investigation that they did. If he's found guilty, you're correct. There should be no discussion, no comment, no anything. Adam Silver, you are fired. You are clearly not suited for this job for a million reasons that I've been saying on this platform for like 3 years. But just this example right here, where it's like, our game is integrity is in question, and you fumbled the bag so badly on this that we absolutely need to get rid of you. There's nothing else to talk about.
And the worst part for Adam Silver is that the NBA has actually been enjoyable thus far in the season, he can't even enjoy it because, well, he might be able to enjoy it because nobody's talking about this anymore. It was a 1 week thing. The first week of the season, all this information comes out and people talk about it, and now it's like it didn't even really happen, which is insane, because if this was the NFL, this would be on the news every single day.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I really think that people don't understand the magnitude of this situation. That's why I texted you saying, like, I feel like we should really, like, I think we should pay attention to the gambling stuff right now, because I don't think that people really understand what's at risk here. Like I use that example, like Terry Rozier, you're going to spend 56 years behind bars, or you can tell us what you know. Like, that's what's going to happen in this scenario. And there are going to be so many other people that get brought down in this. It's not just Terry Rozier. It's not just Damon Jones. It's not just Chauncey Billups. It's a domino, and one domino fell, and now there's going to be a million other dominoes that fall.
I just spit it. Good girl, we're getting paper as a passion. Collect the stacks and bring it back, man, and take vision.